Okay, it's time to begin the second mission. I'm just kind of jumping around with what I'm calling these chapter episode mission. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, this is our first look of Croft Manor in a cutscene, so
You've heard
yay!
of the Rutlands, right? From the States? Well, you just met the Senator's youngest son, James Rutland. Went to West Point, and that's about all he's done.
Call up the footage, please.
Welcome home, Lady Croft. Will your hand luggage require emptying or filling?
Winston, take a look at this. It's almost identical, just configured differently.
Identical to what?
Something I saw a long time ago in Nepal, miles from any pre-Incan culture.
And you believe this to be a fragment of the sword?
What sword?
More likely another of its kind. Zip, I want you to find out what you can about this Rutland, particularly where he is at the moment.
Try Peru. You talked about Paraíso.
He did imply there's information about the artifacts there.
He said you've been to Paraíso. What happened there? And who's Amanda?
Alistair, go over these images and see what you can work out. Zip, ring Anaya and see if she can meet me in Paraíso Saturday morning.
And so we head to Peru to return to Paraíso, which obviously is based. The name is based on paradise.
They don't seem quite so keen on visitors these days.
But hey, you're
It's
the one
very
with the
true.
guns.
You can't blame me for knowing how to accessorize. Any word from Anaya?
She said she'd meet you at the statue in the marketplace.
At least we'll have our privacy.
So, here in this little villagey place, there's not a whole lot to do. There's a training dummy here for you to test out some of your moves that you can do. Gives you all your gun practice that you can go for. Telling you how you can target lock and so on and so forth. You can do melee attacks as well, but they're not quite as useful. However, the slide is very useful. And so is the aerial assault. Those are two moves that you're going to want to try and use if you can, because they are really useful. Now, Paraíso, it does actually exist. It is a place. As well, pretty much most of the locations that appear in Tomb Raider, which is always quite cool. It's the modern name of a late pre-ceramic archaeological site, which is located in the Chillon Valley on the central coast of Peru. It's basically kind of a really, really large site. And was apparently only occupied for a really short time, about 300 to 400 years, apparently. But the first mention of the site was actually in the 1950s, so it's only really been discovered quite recently. So, yeah, if you wanted to look at stuff about Paraíso, Wikipedia's got you covered. As usual, it's very detailed, more so than you would ever need it to be.
Hello, Lara. You realize that the streets were not deserted a moment ago.
And I've been trying so hard to blend in.
I know.
I hope I'm the one that frightens them and not something else.
There's nothing here. Just a heap of pottery shards, littered with the bodies of old friends. If I knew this was where it would lead, I would never have told you about Bolivia.
Yet here you are.
La Paz is not so far away.
Neither is the past.
Lara, go! I'll catch up.
Now, the one really annoying thing about this chapter is that there are two rather big fights that happen in it. And considering this is only the second chapter, they're actually quite challenging. There's this first one in the square. First people aren't that hard to kill, but there are some tougher enemies appearing later on. Now, La Paz, and the Anaya mentioned there, is I don't quite think what... well, it is actually Bolivia's third most populous city, but I don't think that was quite what she was talking about. To be perfect, I don't know what she was talking about. I'm assuming something along the lines of the past, as Lara said. Now, there are a few artifacts hidden around this particular square, and gonna want to try and make sure you grab them. Because once you've reached a certain point, i.e. the next kind of big open space, you're gonna wanna, how shall I put this? You aren't going to be able to turn back, essentially. Which is really horrible. Because what happens is, if you die, then it's not pleasant to you. So make sure that you get the artifacts which are hidden in the little houses like this. Now, that first kind of place of attacking was not too bad. The next place, however, which is literally just across the door, just through the next door, is really horrible. And I would say that it is actually one of the toughest fights in the entire game. Which may sound ridiculous, but I'm being serious. It's basically because you've got a lot of people trying to kill you, and they can do so very, very violently. Because this is your first real thing with grenades, which do massive damage, and these guys will not hesitate to kill you. And I mean that seriously. They will just fire on you and throw grenades, because they are horrible, horrible, horrible people. So after a little bit of messing around, you can kind of see I died numerous times during this particular phase. It's largely because I'm incredibly reckless when it comes to playing Tomb Raider. Like, seriously reckless. Especially in the combat. So I died quite a lot in this particular area. If you're patient, it's probably not nearly as bad as my brain says it is. But I don't have the patience for that. Now, this is one of the first guys who's going to be a pain in the backside to deal with. because he's just hiding there, and if you don't get him out of the way, then he will hurt you. There's also these guys. If you stay up here, then you put yourself in a better position, because they can't really hurt you that much. They can't throw grenades up, and that's so useful. However, you can throw grenades down, so if you wanted to cause any massive damage, that's one method of doing so. So I really hate the Xbox 360's D-pad, because it's such a pain when you kind of just want to use a health pack, but don't want to turn your light on. Because it's just like, why? Why are you doing this to me, light? Or if you want to switch your weapons, you kind of just accidentally nudge your bloomin' light and it turns on. And then if you want to turn the light off, then you might accidentally use a health pack. It's really stupid. And I'm not quite sure why they decided to do it like that, but also I have a really strong dislike for grenades, because they really do hurt, and if you're not careful, you will die very, very quickly to anybody throwing grenades at you. Now, if you're wondering why I was double and triple checking that I had everything, it's because as soon as you walk up to this motorbike, you can never return to this area again unless you play the chapter, so just watch out. But now we get to have a little bit of fun and ride a motorbike! Yay! Now, this is actually quite cool. I remember when I first played Tomb Raider Legend, this appeared and I was just like, oh, this is quite awesome. You do get to ride a motorbike in Tomb Raider Underworld as well, with a much greater degree of freedom, but this was just quite cool because the music's brilliant. I really like the theme that plays in this particular little snippet. Although the one thing I will definitely say is that it's so overly long. Like, seriously, it lasts longer than it needs to. Basically, as long as you stay relatively in control of yourself, you should be absolutely fine. The guys trying to kill you have got very, very poor aim. So as long as you just keep firing, they will die soon enough. The main thing you want to watch out for is making sure that you don't ram into anything. Because as I learned quite dramatically, if you ram into the sides at full pelt, Lara is going to die and you're going to have to replay the section. I thought she was kind of slightly, ever so slightly, invincible during this. Not in terms of the people shooting at her, but more so just dealing with things now. So wrong. So as you can see now, this has been going on for a couple of minutes, and you think, okay, it's time for this to end soon. No, we're only halfway through. And you are basically on a loop of the area. I don't know why. It would probably be a lot cooler if there was more variation, but there isn't. Thankfully we do have this quite awesome bridge segment. I'm quite surprised Alistair didn't mention anything, because I'm sure that terrified the life out of him. if there's one thing that this segment kind of really does show, is that bloody hell, Lara is a complete and utter badass. Not only is she stupidly flexible and acrobatic and gymnastic and all of that, she can successfully ride a motorbike and kill people at the same time. And although that may not seem out of the ordinary for action heroes and heroines, the fact that it is a very difficult thing to do. I mean, seriously. Just kind of, you've got the knockback from the gun, and then also kind of handling the bike itself and making sure you don't fall off and all sorts. It's ridiculous. So basically, make sure you kill those guys, and then you can get up onto there, and the segment's done. And now we get to close it out in very, very brilliant style. Excellent. I don't think they'll be following us that quickly, so I think that went rather well. And so we reached the site of where it all happened.
It hasn't changed much.
The place where stuff happened.
Stacked atop thousands more.
There's something I didn't tell you before. I think Amanda might not have died down there.
Is that what this is about? Closure?
Isn't that what it's all about? Why we dig up the past? To understand it?
I am an engineer, Lara. I build for the future. I don't dwell in the past.
You will someday. Eventually, everyone does.
And that acts as a signal for a flashback bit. Yay!
We're about to break through. In a minute, Amanda. We have some structural concerns. Would you just get down here?
I have to say, that outfit looks remarkably familiar, doesn't it, Lara?
The rope break?
Yes, Amanda, the rope broke. Now during this segment, you don't have guns, or any of your other weapons. You just have, flares. You have an infinite number, so that's really helpful. I don't quite know where Lara's keeping them, but, she's keeping them somewhere. Well, I'm incredibly sorry, but, trying to locate things, think I might be going the wrong way here. Let's turn around and, oh, what? Amanda? Oh dear.
Amanda! Amanda! Can you hear me? Amanda!
That's not good. That's really not good.
Oh, Sarah. God.
Oh dear.
What's happened?
That's not particularly pleasant. So, here we have a lot of, broken equipment, or broken traps that are very useless at actually killing us. Also, you're going to want to make sure that you are very careful in picking up these artifacts, because if you miss them, sometimes it's a case of you can't get back. So do be careful. Now, Amanda here is voiced by Kath Suchi, or Susie. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce her last name. Oh, Susie. There we go. Thank you for pronunciation guides. Who has been in quite a lot. The main role that you'll probably know her from is DeVille twins in Rugrats, and also their mum, so Phil and Lil, which is really cool.
What's going on?
Still kind of weird that Phil, Lil, and their mum are voiced by the same lady, but there we go.
What? There's a hole above me. You've got to get me out.
She's also, well, used to be the voice of Kanga in the Winnie the Pooh movies. She voices Kukiri in Kiki's Delivery Service and the dub.
Hurry, Lara. It's gonna come back.
Hang on, I'm coming.
What else is there? In a lot of, well, quite a few direct-to-video things. Lots of animated television. She's Janine Melnitz in The Real Ghostbusters.
It's coming. Damn it, Lara.
So on and so forth. And then she's also in lots of video games. She's been very prolific as Katsuchi. She's been in Kingdom Hearts as Sally and Shock, and also Sora's mother.
Stay there, Ken. I'm coming down.
Amanda?
She's Lita Halford in Brutal Legend.
It's her.
And what else?
Kent!
Yeah, they're the main ones. Oh, good God. So this is a quick time event, but essentially what you need to do is make sure you run and jump and do kind of the actions that you should do. It's a bit vague as to what it wants you to do. It's kind of annoying, but as long as you just do as you think you should be okay. Now, this right here is kind of towards the end of the flashback. Just gotta roll this off, break the traps, or at least put it on so that you can swing. Now, one thing that you may have noticed is the whole graininess of this segment. It's quite a cool effect, really.
Everybody's dead. There's something. I don't know what it was. I only saw it. No!
Oh dear. Guys. Oh, good grief. It's all building up right now. I told you that as soon as you finished Croft Manor there wasn't much of a break. Just got everybody dying and all sorts. One thing that I really, would find quite amusing at some point would be to do a kill count for Lara, see how many people she kills throughout her games, and compare them between each game, because in a sense you could kind of call her a cold heartless murderer in these titles, because she kills a lot of people and does it quite coolly. However, she also kills a lot of people in the reboot, and I'm not quite sure which one has more deaths. So that'd just be quite something quite amusing to look up, I think. Bit morbid, but still.
I think this stone unlocks the door. I don't like it.
Are you sure you're reading it properly?
That thing is coming. You have a better idea? The door might be trapped. We're trapped. Oh, God!
Well, that's good. It's nice and helpful. That, on the other hand, is not. Good grief, you got some strength, girl. But no, serious time. Amanda's kind of gonna die in inverted commas because she might not be dead. But this is what happened, so... Ooh. Yeah, that looked pretty dead to me.